Mum who was furious over not going to my graduation. The aftermath. Hi all. I had another post about how my mother went absolutely insane over how I didn't go to my college graduation. It's too much to explain, but that's the gist. I think my post is still on my profile and in this sub if you wish to reference. Last weekend, when she was home from work and I was subjected to hours of interrogation. There was originally a lot of silent treatment, but midday Saturday, my dad suggested I apologize to her. Since I didn't go to my own grad, I know it's dumb. My apology was met with screaming about how I'm ungrateful, I'm a bad, evil person, I pooped on my whole family, stuff about good Catholic education is, and I've blocked out the rest. 1 minute I was told to go to my room, the next minute I was screamed at to get out cause I had to spend more time with the family. By Saturday evening, I was made to sit on the living room couch and stay out. I sat through an AFL game, the cricket that had been televised from England, TV shows my twin siblings were watching. I was constantly questioned by my mum, what I was hiding, and what I have wrong with me. Why am I the way that I am? Because I have been scarring the kids. I hadn't eaten much for days because I was too scared to walk around the house. Obviously, I was weak and cold cause my own mother is making me well aware that I am a bad person. I deserve bad things to happen to me. After Saturday night, I ended up with chilblains. I took a shower on Sunday morning, and pulled out burnt strands of my hair, probably from when I tried to hide next to an electric heater. Over the next few days things gradually started to get a little better. I'm not sure why, but Mum little by little started talking to me again, even if it was just, you still haven't told us why you decided to throw away chance to go to your graduation. There is no why. I hated being at a Catholic college, but I can never tell her that. I have faced numerous punishments since, and I am going to continue to pay for what I did for a long time. Whatever chance I could, I read through my college's policy and procedures to see if I would be allowed to attend another ceremony. My university has many throughout the year, for each semester. Mum just wanted the smiling photos and to have a whole, look at what my kid did, moment, so I felt compelled to something to end this nightmare. On Monday morning, I had to take the car to be serviced, and I had a few hours wait. While I waited at this damn Kia Motors place, I sat there sending a few emails and making a few calls regarding my enrollment and finish date, so I could still be eligible for a ceremony. On Wednesday morning, I received an email saying I am on the list for spring graduation. I am going to pay for every ticket. My last post said I think it's nearly $100 AUD, found out it's actually $165 per guest, and will be officially confirmed closer to the date. This was all done without her knowing yet, but she was home from work for a few days since this grief has made her sick. She just didn't go to work for 3 days. I still feel too scared to tell my mum that I fixed it for her. I told my brothers about the graduation ceremonies and how afraid I was, and they actually laughed at me. Being males, they aren't treated the same as me. I asked them, but don't you hate how angry she gets? They both said they were completely numb to it and didn't care. I'm just full of fear and I don't know what to do. I do want to tell my dad, who's fat, more reasonable than Mum, but I'm frozen. 21F. Entitled Parent Demands Prescription for Son, Asks to See Manager. A little background. This story is from my dad, who is a pharmacist. He is also the manager of the department, but also does things like fill prescriptions like other pharmacists. One day EM comes to the counter where the prescription medicine is picked up, filled. She goes to my dad and says, "May I have, insert prescription here?" And my dad, like normal, asks for her info like insurance, date of birth, first and last name, etc. When my dad looks her up, the prescription she had asked for was not there, and for legal reasons, and common sense, he could not give her the medication. She then like always asked for the manager. Meanwhile her kid was just sitting in the background wait for his mum. My dad told me he could tell that he wanted to say something about the situation but seemed too shy, afraid. Once she asked for the manager, my absolute favorite moment of a worker do, my dad slowly did a 360 and turned back to the lady and said, "How may I help you, ma'am?" He told me that the look on her face was hilarious, and he was not punished in any way for doing this, as she was the rude one doing threats and other Karen stuff. She later left the store and didn't come back even when my dad wasn't there, said his co-workers. Finally, a funny and happy ending to an entitled mum.
If you're enjoying this so far, please like and subscribe.
Another entitled Airplane Mum. A few weeks ago, I was flying back to Denver from Atlanta. I use a cheap airline, and on the flight to Atlanta I was stuck in the middle seat and got a little claustrophobic. No problem. I got exactly what I paid for. To avoid this, I paid extra to choose my seat on the way back, and chose the window. I get on the plane, walk to my seat, and notice a lady and her child in my aisle. The lady is in the middle and the child, maybe 3 or 4, is in my seat. I didn't board late, I was one of the early groups, so she just preemptively took the window. You have to pay extra for that. I walked up and very politely tell her it's my seat. I never, not once, raised my voice or lost my temper. Me, that's my seat. Very incredulous. Can't believe I have the nerve to make her move. Are you serious? Me, yes, completely. You don't have to be such a lady wolf. Me, thinking this escalated quickly, ma'am, I haven't been a lady wolf at all. Not yet. I'm not sitting next to you if you're a lady wolf. Me, okay, then, if there are empty seats, I suggest you move if you don't want to sit next to me. That's my seat. She then stands up and yells for the flight attendant because she isn't sitting next to a stupid lady wolf. The poor flight attendant comes over and gives me an embarrassed look, and tells her she needs to sit down in the correct seat and wait to see if there are no shows. Then proceeds to tell everyone around what a lady wolf I am, etc., earning my more embarrassed looks from other passengers. At the end of the day, I got my seat, wasn't claustrophobic, and she looked like a back exit, but what is the deal with parents like that? I have 3 boys and I would never, ever expect people to give up seats for us. Certainly not ones they paid extra for. Entitled Mother Threatens Me with CPS Over Remnants of a 2-year-old's Mess. So, the inspectors are coming tomorrow and my family and I have been deep cleaning. Now I had a plan for today to finish half of what was left before my work and the rest after my work, which would have been the rest of my daughter's mess I had missed. Well, today at 6 in the morning, 1 to 2 hours before the time I told my friend to wake me up and make sure I clean, I wake up to screaming 3 feet from me. I wake up disoriented to find my mother screaming at the top of her lungs about trash and cleaning, to which I realize she had broken into my room to scream at me. Yes, people, she came into my room while my daughter and I slept soundly to scream at me. She screamed for a good 30 minutes saying, "The garbage truck is gonna be here in 30 minutes. Get your ass up and clean." Now here's a good idea of the mess. I had a mess on my bed of mostly clothes and cords. I was going through what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to toss. On the floor, yes, it needed vacuuming. It had a horse, a little Santa straw bag my daughter plays with, and a box with maybe some trash from her not thrown away the prior day. She grabs my daughter as I feel like I'm going deaf from the sudden screaming and leaves, refusing to let me get my child. She comes back continuing to yell at me as I rub the sleep from my eyes, trying to understand what's going on and begin yelling back at her. I have this habitual habit to stand still and wait for someone to be quiet and stop monitoring me if I'm going to do anything I'm told to do, as I did it to get a break from my mother as a child when she did the same thing. When she finally leaves, I start cleaning and she comes back. My mother, I am gonna call CPS and surrender her because you're a pig. This causes me to go into hysterics because despite this not being her first threat, it was the first time she said it this way and I panicked. OP, I'm sure they'd love to know you bully your eldest child so much to have suicidal ideation every time you enter a room. That's effing abuse. Insert colorful language. I'm the, repeats colorful language. Look at yourself, insert colorful language, talking about a type of work to support my daughter. I think to myself how I do what's needed in order to clothe my child and get her needed diapers and necessities, but no, if I say it, she will make it about her. She's currently making waffles like nothing happened and being buddy-buddy with my daughter like she didn't just call me a bunch of colorful names and make me have a mental crisis to the point where I couldn't stop crying for a good 2 hours. Another waterpark This is the last story I've ever had in my life. Entitled Parents Are Kinda Rare here. This one happened around 2018-ish. This lady is the type of mother who just leaves their kids to someone else to babysit. I will never understand that style of parenting. I know it's hard to parent someone, but like, why would you leave your kids behind for a random stranger? She did that. I was just swimming around in a pool with my little brother. Then her 5 spawns came into the pool and started splashing around. Honestly, I didn't have an issue with that. They were nowhere near me. Then one of them came over and splashed me, and I told him that it's not nice to splash strangers. Then I looked for his mum, and she was nowhere to be seen. Like, come on. Why would you leave your 5 kids in a pool? What if one of them drowns? The spawn went on with his way, and then he came back and started splashing again. I told him to stop, and he didn't. Then the lifeguard blew the whistle and he swam off. My brother was busy with his boat toys or something. Then the stupid mother came back and she started lecturing the lifeguard about how it's not his place to parent her kids, and he's not the parent. Then the lifeguard said something and went back to his chair. Then the stupid mum came to me and tried to involve me in this whole dispute. She told me that one of her spawns told her that I yelled at him for splashing. She started saying how it's not my place to parent, how I need to stop being so anti-fun, and that I was intruding on her parenting, and I told her that maybe, if she wants to not be intruded on, maybe she should parent her kids. She got mad and told me I was a effing back exit, and I told her that she shouldn't teach her kids swear words. She took her kids and left to probably another part of the water park. That was the end of it. I know when people on this sub think that, they're usually wrong. But I was right in this case. Stupid mum never came back, to me at least. I still go back to that water park every few weeks with my brother, and I've seen zero stupid or entitled parents since then. Except for that one line Karen that I posted about before. Share your story in the comments, I would love to add them to a video.